Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist, and today doing a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon deck profile. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys, because this deck was actually suggested to me by one of my patrons, Wesley. And this deck is an extremely powerful deck that focuses around summoning out all sorts of awesome Dragon XZ monsters to OTK your opponent. And we just got some amazing support for this deck, finally getting Photon Delta Wing to help out with the consistency for this build. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description in a single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month to your patron. And definitely give Wesley some love down in the comments down below for suggesting such an awesome deck. So let's get straight on into this one, guys. So first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. This card is an awesome combo piece in the deck that you're going to be using all the time in this build to be able to XZ summon into some really powerful cards. But I feel like 2 is really all you need now for this build. We then play a single copy of Galaxy Eyes Afterglow Dragon. This card is so searchable in the deck that I feel like 1 is all you need for this card, but it's absolutely crazy because if you control a Galaxy Eyes monster, you can special summon this card from your hand in defense position, and if this card is detached from an XZ monster, to activate that monster's effect, you can take a Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your hand or deck and either special summon it or attach it to an XZ monster you control as material. Then, if you activated this effect during the battle phase, double the attack of all number XZ monsters that you control, making them absolutely massive so you can OTK. We then play 2 copies of Photon Emperor. I really like 2 copies of Photon Emperor because this card, if it is sent to the graveyard, except from the field, while another Photon or Galaxy monster is on the field or in the grave, you can special summon this card in defense position, and it also gives you an additional normal summon or set, which is such a cool ability about this card, and I love this card as a 2 of in the build. We then play a single copy of Galaxy Brave. Galaxy Brave is an awesome extender in the deck that's very easy to put on your side of the field. Is if this card's in your hand, you can reveal a Photon monster in your hand to special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, its level becomes the level of the Photon monster, making it super easy to level modulate this card to get to the exact level you need to make some XZ plays. We then play 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. Galaxy Soldier is a definite 3 of in the build because this card helps out so much to be able to send one other light monster from your hand to the graveyard to special summon this card from your hand in fence position. And when this card is special summoned, you can add a Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand, but you can only activate this effect of this card once per turn to be able to get that search, but you can special summon as many of these as you want per turn, helping you go in for XZ plays and even go in for Link plays. We then play 3 copies of Photon Delta Wing. Delta Wing is so helpful for this build and is just absolutely crazy that if this card is normal summon, you can special summon another copy of Photon Delta Wing from your hand or deck in defense position. Also, you cannot special summon for the rest of the turn except light monsters, and also your opponent cannot declare an attack while you control another Photon Delta Wing, giving you some protection as well. And quick shout out to one of my buddies at Locals, Cameron, who actually got me this Photon Delta Wing. He pulled out of every single one of his boxes of maze, he pulled a Photon Delta Wing, and in the final box we made a joke and said, hey, it'd be really funny if you pulled the collector's rare out of the last box, and he did, so he ended up trading it to me. So quick shout out to Cameron, thank you so much for trading this collector's rare Photon Delta Wing to me for this profile, but it's absolutely amazing and it looks amazing. But this card is super helpful for the deck because it helps you go in for rank 4 plays, and it's finally a good starter for this deck to be able to summon out to your side of the field and make a rank 4 play off of just summoning out this card. We then play 3 copies of Photon Vanisher. I really like this card as a 3 of in the build because it can special summon itself to your side of the field, and it has a really cool ability that if this card is special summoned, you can add a copy of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon from your deck to your hand, which is a great ability to be able to do, and I love that about this card. And to special summon this card out to your side of the field, all you have to do is control a Photon or Galaxy monster, making it ridiculously easy to put this card on the field. We then play 3 copies of Photon Orbital. Photon Orbital is great as a 3 of in the build because this card is basically Rhoda for the deck, that during your main phase you can target a Photon or Galaxy monster you control and equip this card from your hand or field to the targeted monster, and it gains 500 attack. And then it also has the ability you can send this equipped card to the graveyard to add a Photon or Galaxy monster from your deck to your hand, except another copy of Photon Orbital, which is a great ability to be able to instantly search out the exact card that you need. We then play 3 copies of Photon Jumper. Photon Jumper is great as a 3-of in the build, and I absolutely love this card because it helps you search out Photon or Galaxy spells or traps from your deck to your hand if this card is sent to the graveyard, which is a great ability to combo with cards like your copies of Galaxy Soldier to get you a double search and a summon, because you can send this card to the graveyard, get that search off of this card and the search off of Galaxy Soldier all at the same time, which is a really cool ability. I love that about this card, and it's just a great 3-of. We then play a single copy of Galaxy Wizard. I have bumped this card down to 1 now that we have our copies of Delta Wing, and I feel like this card is just not quite as needed now that we do have that Delta Wing as our best normal summon in the deck, because this card does tribute itself to be able to add a Galaxy card from your deck to your hand, but I really like being able to just summon out Delta Wing and make a rank 4 play better. And this card is still really good, but I feel like 1 is all you need. We then play a single copy of Galaxy Summoner. Galaxy Summoner is great as a 1-of because if this card is normal or special summon, you can special summon a Photon or Galaxy monster from your graveyard to your side of the field in defense position, which is a really cool ability just to be able to get an additional monster on the field. You can also target 1 other light monster you control, and its level becomes 4 until the end of the turn, helping you go in for rank 4 plays. We then play a single copy of Photon Thrasher. Thrasher is great as well because this card is basically the Cyber Dragon of the deck, that if you don't control a monster, you can special summon this card from your hand to your side of the field, which is just a really cool play about this card. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom to round out the monsters. Ash is just really good at basically just stopping your opponent from touching the deck. So that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get in to the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Rhoda. Rhoda is really good as a 1-of in the build because we play a lot of warriors in this deck that this card can actually search. We then play a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is really good in the deck as a 1-of to be able to send cards like Photon Emperor directly from your deck to the graveyard so that you can get its ability to go off to bring itself back to your side of the field so you can get that additional normal summon, which is really nice. This card is great in the deck, so we have a bunch of targets to be able to send to the graveyard with this card's ability. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave is great as a 1-of in the build just to basically stop your opponent from hand trapping you while you're going in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of Photon Sanctuary. Photon Sanctuary is great in this build because this card lets you special summon out 2 tokens that have 2,000 attack to your side of the field in defense position so that you can link them away for your copy of Soulflare Dragon, which is just really good about this card. We then play a single copy of Numbers Last Hope. Numbers Last Hope is great in this build. I absolutely love this card because this card is always treated as a Galaxy Eyes card, and you pay half your life points and then target 2 monsters in your graveyard and special summon both, but their effects are negated. Then immediately this effect resolves, you get to XZ summon a number XZ monster using only those 2 monsters. Also for the rest turn, after this card resolves, you can only special summon 1 more time from the extract, which is totally fine because it's just going to help you get an additional monster out on your side of the field with an XZ, which is just so cool to be able to do with this card. We play a lot of number XZs in the extract, so this is really a great card to be able to play in the build. We then play a single copy of Galaxy Expedition. A Galaxy Expedition is great as an extender in this build because this card has a really cool effect that if you control a level 5 or higher Photon or Galaxy monster, you can special summon 1 level 5 or higher Photon or Galaxy monster from your deck in face-up defense position, helping you get into your XZ plays. We then play a single copy of Galaxy Trance. Galaxy Trance is awesome as a 1-of in the build, and this card comes up so much because it helps you make XZ plays. You pay 2,000 life points, and then target a Photon monster in your graveyard and special summon both it and a Galaxy monster from your deck with the same level, both in defense position, and if you do, each monster's attack becomes 2,000, and also their effects are negated, giving you 2 monsters on the field to make an XZ play, which is just really, really good. We then play 3 copies of Galaxy 100. Galaxy 100 is basically like Foolish Burial for the deck, but it has the ability, when this card is activated, you send a Photon or Galaxy card from your deck to the grave, and if Galaxy S Photon Dragon is special summoned to your side of the field, you can activate one of these effects to either banish a monster from your opponent's extract, or special summon a number monster from your opponent's extract to your side of the field, which is a crazy powerful effect for this card to have, and I absolutely love this card as a 3-of in the build. So, that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get in to the traps. So for the traps, we're going to be playing just 3, and that's going to be 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Impermanence is really good to be able to use as a negate in the deck to basically stop your opponent's monster effects and also set this card to your side of the field to lock down entire columns of spells and traps so that you can OTK on the follow-up, which is just really good. This card is definitely a 3-0 in the build and helps out a lot in the deck to be able to go along with our copies of Ash Blossom. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, guys, we're going to start off with a single copy of number C62, Neo Galaxy Eyes Prime Photon Dragon. This card is our main OTK piece that we're summoning all the time in the deck that has the ability that you can also XZ summon this card using a copy of number 62, which is really cool to be able to just instantly overlay this card on top of your copy of number 62 and just get this really powerful boss monster on your side of the field. And at the start of the battle phase, you can actually detach a material from this card, and this card can make up to 3 attacks on monsters during that battle phase. And if this card has Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragons and material, it also gains the abilities that it's unaffected by your opponent's monster effects, and it gains attack equal to the combined level and rank of monsters attached to this card times 100, making this card get absolutely massive to be able to OTK your opponent, especially when you have a copy of Afterglow Dragon attached to this card and you detach it to be able to make it absolutely huge and double its attack points even further to OTK. We then play a single copy of number 62. We play this card as a 1-of in the build to be able to make this card first and then make our copy of C62 on top of it. We then play a single copy of Galaxy Eyes Cypher X Dragon. This card is a great boss monster in the deck. It is super easy to put on our side of the field, because once per turn, you can also XZ summon this card by using a Cypher Dragon monster that you control as a material, which is great to be able to just instantly make this card on top of one of your other cards. It also has the ability you can detach 2 materials from this card, and your opponent cannot target light monsters you control card effects until the end of your opponent's turn, which is a really cool ability about this card. You can play a single copy of Galaxy Eyes Full Armor Photon Dragon. This card is great to be able to XZ summon on top of one of your other Galaxy Eyes XZ monsters to just be able to pop a card on the field. We then play a single copy of Galaxy Eyes Cypher. Cypher is great to be able to take control of your opponent's monsters, which is why we play this card as a 1-of. Play a single copy of number 38. Number 38 is awesome in the deck to be able to basically use this card as a spell negate. We then play a single copy of number 90. Number 90 is awesome as well because this card is a monster negate, which is really cool about this card. We then play 2 copies of Galaxy Photon Dragon. Galaxy Photon Dragon is a great card to be able to play in the deck. His other light monster you control gained 500 attack, and you can also detach a material from this card to add a Photon or Galaxy card from your deck to your hand, or send it to the graveyard, which is so cool about this card because you basically just summon out your copy of Delta Wing, then summon another Delta Wing from the deck off of Delta Wing's ability, and then you go in for this card, which is really amazing for this card to be able to just instantly go into this card with Delta Wing's ability. And it also has the ability if a light monster is special summoned to your field, except during the damage step, you can target one of those monsters and its level becomes 4 or 8 until the end of the turn, which is great to level modulate your cards. We then play a single copy of Starliege Photon Blast Dragon. Starliege Photon Blast is great because when this card is XZ summoned on the field, your opponent cannot target monsters you control with 2,000 more attack for card effects. Also, they cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects either, and once per opponent's turn, quick effect, you can detach a material from this card and then target one of your Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon that's banished from the grave and special summon it. We then play a single copy of Cyber Dragon Infinity because this card is great to be able to make with your copy of Nova, and it's just a awesome walking negate that you can make in this build. We then play a single copy of Nova. Nova's amazing in this build to be able to make this card first and then overlay this card with Infinity to get you a negate on the field. We then play a single copy of AA Zeus. AA Zeus is just a good board wipe in the build. And then finally we play 2 copies of Galaxy Eyes Soul Flare Dragon. This card is amazing in the build. And as the ability, this card is link summoned. You can target a Photon or Galaxy monster in your grave and add it to your hand, which is actually one of the most powerful effects on this card to help you recover some of your cards out of the grave, so you can go in for some crazy powerful plays. And it also has the ability during your opponent's main phase quick effect, you can discard a Photon and a Galaxy card, or just a copy of Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, and then target a special summon monster opponent controls and destroy it, which is really amazing. So, that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, you should definitely give this deck a try, because it's crazy how powerful this build is, and it's just amazing now that we finally have Photon Delta Wing to just help us make rank 4 plays. So, that's going to do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell in there so you can come part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys from the next video. See you later, guys.